Hello everybody, so this little tutorial focuses on section 4 of your speech, which is the climax section. Pure pathos here, okay? We're just going for something emotional, something that's really going to hit the audience in the heart. This section is really, really short, because if we want to create a compelling point, we want to really hit the emotions, we need to keep it quite short and powerful. So I have written for my section 4, the cost to our bank balances might be low, but the cost to our conscience is high. And if we continue to be happily oblivious to child labour, then the cycle of poverty and exploitation will never be broken. So as you can see, my climax part is really short. 2 sentences, neither of which are terribly long. Just trying to make a really strong point that anchors a lot of what I've said so far. And obviously this links back to my section 3. So I ended section 3 talking about the fact that when we buy cheap clothes, rather than ethical clothes, we are contributing to the exploitation of children. So obviously my section 4 really makes sense when you consider it in relation to section 3. So when we buy these clothes, the cost to our bank balances might be low, but the cost to our conscience is high. Then I've used this conjunction and because I want to keep that kind of cycle and flow going. If we continue to be happily oblivious to child labour, the cycle of poverty and exploitation will never be broken. Okay, 2 questions about this section. What rhetorical figure have I used to add impact to my message? How have I tried to create a forceful tone at this point? If you could answer both those questions, please pause the video, answer the 2 questions and then restart the video. Okay, so a gold star to anybody who identified my use of antithesis here. Obviously I've got low and high, which are opposites, so I have created antithesis. And obviously this links into my whole message about moral duty, that if we think with our wallets and we make choices about what we buy based on what's cheapest and most fashionable, then actually we need to think with our consciences. Is that ethical and fair? Is it okay for a child hundreds of miles away to be working long hours for little pay in dangerous conditions so that we can save a bit of money on a top that we'll wear twice? So I'm really trying to get the audience to examine their conscience here and their own sense of moral purpose. And then obviously I've got this metaphor here. The cycle of poverty and exploitation will never be broken. The use of the modal verb will, powerful. It indicates a high degree of certainty. So even though it only seems a little word, it's saying things are dire. If we don't do something, things will never be better. The cycle of poverty, a fairly commonly used kind of metaphorical idea that things are going round in circles and you're never going to get anything better. Okay, so that's a really short one today. So obviously the next stage is for you to write the 4th section of your speech. And as I always say to you, aim to make yours about the same length as mine, which in this instance means you need to write 2 sentences. Try to write the first one with antithesis in it. Try to write a sentence that contains antithesis and then a second one that maybe contains a metaphor or makes this kind of powerful point. All you're trying to do is take everything you've said so far in your speech and anchor it in a strong emotional point. Please do that and then pick up the next video. Thanks guys.